So we're going to start from our discussion, which we have left yesterday. Just what is the Bhagavad Gita? We have finished with the point that Bhagavad Gita should be understood in a submissive spirit. So now, what is that Bhagavad Gita? The purpose of Bhagavad Gita is to deliver mankind from the nuisance of material existence. So this nuisance, the word Sanskrit word for nuisance is avidya, and I think we have discussed this in great detail. What is avidya? So does somebody remember the 5 words we had discussed in connection with avidya? Avidya in Gita as it is, the Gita class as it is, this introduction 5. Could you find it? Yeah. Avidya, Asmita, Rag, Dvesh, Abhinivesh. So the whole world, nahi mila? The whole world is completely captured by this disease. So the purpose of Bhagavad Gita is so that it can deliver us from this disease. Just like now, this pandemic of corona is everywhere. Similarly, like this, nobody knows who he is. That is the whole point. So by learning Bhagavad Gita, we become delivered from this nescience. Nescience समझ रहे हैं? Nescience means avidya. Avidya, yes. Avidya means by which we forget who we are and we tend to believe that we are this body. Every man is in difficulty in so many ways, as Arjuna also was in difficulty in having to fight the battle of Kurukshetra. Arjuna surrendered unto Sri Krishna, and where is Sahil? Sachin, where is Sahil? Hopefully it should not be too long. Maybe he will not wash the room. Arjuna surrendered unto Sri Krishna, and consequently this Bhagavad Gita was spoken. Now, this first paragraph, which we're going to hear, a few things, is very important. And from there, you will learn what is the qualification of the student of Bhagavad Gita. So, please hear very carefully. Not only Arjuna, but every one of us is full of anxieties because of this material existence. Do you agree with this? We have so many anxieties. Where will I get a job? Not get a job? I don't want to elaborate on this. Everybody knows about this. But the reason which we have highlighted is our very existence is in the atmosphere of non-existence. What does this mean? We are eternal. But everything in this world is non-eternal, constantly changing, constantly, every moment. We are full of happiness, but this world is full of distress. We are full of knowledge, but this world is full of ignorance. So completely different world. Just like a fish is an animal or a species of water and is being put on land. That is how it is the situation. Actually, we are not meant to be threatened by non-existence. What is the meaning of this? We have a fear of death. Yes. So are we actually supposed to be afraid of death? No. Why? Because we are eternal. But this fear of death is being imposed upon us. That's what Prabhupada is saying. We are not meant to be threatened. Just like in a dream, if somebody comes to kill you, you will be afraid. But you are not meant to be afraid because that's a dream. That is not a reality. Rajesh, are you able to understand? Yes. Our existence is eternal. Always this point you should every day meditate. All the problems in this world are not the real problem. All these problems are there so that they can distract us from the real problem, which is our forgetfulness of Krishna. It doesn't mean that we don't deal with the problems with responsibility, but we should not be, how to say, we should not become despondent. समझ रहे ना? We should not lose hope and all those things, because those problems are not real problems. Corona is not the real problem, or any other thing is not the real problem. Real problem is this: we have to cross over death and go back to Godhead. Our existence is eternal, but somehow or other we are put into asat. So now you may say, if I'm eternal, then why I'm here? Somehow or other, we don't know. But somehow, the somehow means we had somehow the desire to revolt against Krishna, and that's why we are here. Asat refers to that which does not exist. What does it mean? Something which does not exist in the past as something which will not exist in the future. Then, as per the philosophy, it does not exist now also. If something was not in the past, and if something will not remain in the future, now also it is not existing. Only thing which is Vastavik Vastu is something which existed in the past. It is now there, and also it will continue to exist in the future. Were we there in the past? Yes. Were we there? Will we be there in the future? Will my body be in this form will be in the future? समझ में आया? So you can understand that our body is not true. Not true in the sense it is temporary. It is not my real self. Will Krishna be was Krishna in the past? Yes, is now also there in future. So we must try by philosophy. It's not philosophy, this is the truth. By hearing the truth, we should try to focus our mind on truth. Not focus the mind on temporary reality of this world. Well, to appreciate this point, there are quite philosophical points that I'm trying to say. Out of so many human beings who are suffering, there are few who are actually inquiring about their position as to what they are, why they are put into this awkward position, and so on. Why? Because even if the living entity is suffering, he thinks that he is enjoying. He thinks that he is enjoying. And that's an illusion of the conditioned living entity. And if I am in ISKCON, and if I am understanding that I have to go back to Godhead, if in this life some other devotee is not understanding, then we cannot stop for him. We will not stop our devotional service if he is not understanding. If he is having ulterior motivations and whatever, we will not stop our Krishna consciousness. Everybody has his own choice to make. Does it make sense? See, we are not simply discussing philosophy. That means he has not understood this place is dangerous. And because he has come to bhakti, later on he will understand. Make sense? Sajjan, samajh mein aa raha? Okay. Suppose you are a fish out of water and you realize I am a fish out of water and you want to go back to water and the other fishes do not want to go back to water. Does it mean they are not suffering? They are suffering, but if they don't want to, and those fishes can be our father, mother, brother, whatever, brother fish, mother fish, father fish, sister fish. But if they say, why are you taking shelter of water? We should remain independent. We should not listen to them. समझ रहे हैं? Unless one is awakened, we have highlighted this, unless one is awakened to this position of questioning his suffering, unless he realizes that he doesn't want suffering but rather wants to make a solution to all suffering, then one is not to be considered a perfect human being. These statements are so deep. How much do we actually question that we are actually suffering? So that's the whole difficulty. Everybody is trying to preach to people how they can be happy in this world, and it is not possible. Suffering is for everyone, even if you are a devotee. But when we accept the suffering as a mercy of Lord, that becomes a cause of our liberation. So one should not think that if I am a devotee, I will never become sick, I will never have any problem. No, it is not like that. But these are gifts of Krishna by which we can go back to Godhead. Accepting them as a mercy of Lord and continuing to serve the Lord favorably in spite of these problems. So now what is the thing is that why we have highlighted this shows that people don't think. And when we read Bhagavad Gita, we are forced to think. We begin to think. These are the points we have to understand. And that is the nature of a perfect human being who begins to inquire, why am I suffering in this world? Not like an animal who, even if he's suffering, even if he has blood, he doesn't think about it. Just like I saw a monkey, and probably his leg was cut and blood was coming out, and he was simply licking the wound by his tongue. Or if you must have noticed, all the devotees have noticed that during the winter season, how do the monkeys respond? They will just come close together, isn't it? They won't make a house for themselves. Even if you give them a house, they will do the same stupid thing. They will come together, and this way they will think that they can, by coming together, they can remove this suffering of uh, cold. But this is, I always, whenever I see this, I always remember this. This is how foolish human beings as a society and individually are. We think that coming together and making my own plan, I can destroy my sufferings. It's just not possible. Make sense? Sukhaya karmani karoti loke. All the people are coming together, marrying and making all the families just so that this suffering goes away. But the suffering is not removed. Instead of that, the suffering is increased. Humanity begins when this sort of inquiry is awakened in one's mind. And this sort of inquiry will really awaken when the mind is purified. And that's why Varnashram is there. So that even if a person is not directly inquiring, at least he follows dharma. Before he can have Brahma Jigyasa, at least he should have Dharma Jigyasa. What is my dharma? And after being purified by this dharma, then he will begin to inquire, oh, I'm suffering. I don't think you have understood this point. People can't immediately inquire about Brahman. So they have to follow rules and regulations so that they become at least not an animal, rather purified persons. And when they are sufficiently purified, then they can understand and actually I am suffering. समझ रहे हैं? This is called awakening of the soul. And this is fast tracked by Hare Krishna mantra, by bhakti. When we actually chant Hare Krishna mantra nicely and continue to chant, then we realize I'm suffering. One day, I don't want to mention this, but one devotee told that he had to drive out a person who was mad. And that mad person actually threw stool at him. Can you imagine what kind of suffering? This is disgusting, isn't it? And so many things we experience in a life like this. And still we have a hope that by some way I can become happy in this world. You understand? And that's why Shastra say keep your life simple so that you don't be distracted and you focus on the main goal, how you can go back to spiritual world. And that fixation of the goal happens by hearing again and again and again and again. Because the distraction is also happening by hearing again and again and again, that by becoming anything great in this world, you will be happy. Are you able to understand my points? That's why emphasizing brahmacharya life means hearing, not only working. Humanity begins when this sort of inquiry is awakened in one's mind. What kind of inquiry? Why I am suffering? Is there any permanent reality? What is the reality? Many times I can see that if from a distance, internally, as an observer, you see just see the Goshala. The kids are roaming around and the cows are there and the monkeys are there. It's like a drama. I'm not talking about Vrindavan as such. The whole world is a drama where everybody is completely absorbed in his play or his role in the play. To the extent he's forgetting what his real life is. Are you able to understand what I'm trying to say? Completely absorbed. I am this one's son, this is daughter, husband, this and that, and completely forgets what his relationship with Krishna is. So this happens when we chant Hare Krishna, we tend to separate ourselves from the role we are playing in this world. I don't know whether you can understand my language. Suppose you are in a drama and you have become Kumbhkarna. And what if you forget that you are also a devotee? Then you're always thinking, I'm Kumbhkarna only. So at least after the drama, you should come out of that consciousness and believe or realize that I'm not Kumbhkarna, I'm a servant of Krishna. समझ रहे हैं? Yes. Why I'm saying this in my small career of Krishna consciousness, I have seen so many devotees being carried away with this duality. He is bad, he is my enemy, even among devotional circles. This is my enemy, that is my enemy. You have not joined ISKCON to find enemies among devotees. I mean, you may not like a devotee, that's a different thing, that is practical. But he's not your enemy or anything. So Mudra Prabhu can understand what I'm trying to say. Yes, and it just gives rise to unnecessary distractions from Krishna consciousness. Make sense? In the Brahma Sutra, this inquiry is called Brahma Jigyasa. Athato Brahma Jigyasa. Athato Brahma Jigyasa means now I have got this human form of life, so I'll inquire about Brahman. Just like when we are hungry and we go to Krishna hall, we say, now I have come to Krishna hall, so I'll play football. You are hungry, and when you go to Prasadam hall, what do you say? Chalo, abhi aa gaye. Now we have come here, so let us have some prasadam. Similarly, can this inquiry be inquired by an animal? The point is, these points may seem to be very simple points to you. But if you, these are not simply points to be spoken, but these are points to be observed and meditated upon. Then it will descend into our heart. I can attend a Bhagavad Gita class, but the cows cannot attend. The monkey cannot attend. No animal in this world can attend except me. Everybody has ears, nose, but they cannot understand Bhagavad Gita class. They don't have that consciousness. What I'm supposed to do? Are you able to understand the point? We have very special faculties of hearing by which we can ascertain what is good for me in my future life. We can see our future by hearing. I'm saying so many things which we have to immediately catch and digest. So if you don't hear, what will be my consciousness? Can you answer? If I don't hear Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavad, what will be my consciousness? Like an animal. Very nice answer. I'll again repeat. If I don't hear Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavad, then what will be my consciousness? And what does animal think? He is my enemy. He is my friend. Have you not seen how the monkeys fight? Oh, oh. And it seems that they are fighting for a very important issue. Have you not seen how seriously they fight? And that's how Prabhupada says this human form of life is not meant for fighting like cats and dogs, but to focus on Krishna consciousness. Every activity of the human being is to be beautiful point. Every activity of the human being, I'll repeat again. Every activity of the human being is to be considered a failure unless he inquires about the nature of the absolute. Parabhavastavad jato yavanna jigyastamaatma tattvam. This is how Prabhupada picks up from Bhagavatam, Rishabhdev's teachings. That we are defeated at every step. We may be considered a very successful person, but if you are not inquiring how I can revive my relationship with Krishna, which is the real source of my real happiness, I am wasting my life. Completely. Just imagine, suppose you have to die at 8:40, let's say. Now it's 8:30. What have we gained in this life now? Does it matter how many marks we got in 5th class, 6th class, 10th class? Does it matter what we got to eat and not got to eat? Nothing really matters. And it's amazing, day after day, this is what is mattering, this is making, this is what we're holding important for us. Are you able to understand? If I just imagine, after 10 minutes, you are going to die. So all those things which you considered very important in a life are not important. And what was important, that somehow that we associated with devotees, we got an opportunity to chant Hare Krishna, to discuss Bhagavad Gita, render some service to Krishna. Huh? So you can understand, by this kind of reflection, we can understand, we can focus our consciousness what is important for us. Does it make sense to you? So, the qualification of the student of Bhagavad Gita, point number 1. Therefore, I just put numbers in Prabhupada's purport. As purport only, I'm just putting a note to make you understand these are the qualifications of the student of Bhagavad Gita. Just like, what is the qualification of a student of IIT? Past 12th, okay, and he has to be graduated or whatever. He has to not graduate. He has to cross over the JEE exam. Yes, it's not that anybody can come into IIT and study. Similarly, what is the student qualification of student of Bhagavad Gita? First, therefore, those who begin to question why they are suffering or where they came from and where they shall go after death are proper students for understanding Bhagavad Gita. That is the prime focus of their life. What, just like, what is your date of birth, Sahil, in this life? 1997. So where were you 95? Nobody asked the question. You were there, isn't it? Definitely you were there as Atma. Nobody questions why I was there. And now I am an association of devotees. So where will I go after this life? Nobody thinks. Okay? So a person who actually, and then do not, in this context, one should never ever hear his parents. Because in most cases, 99.9 from my side, they have never asked these questions. From where have they come? What is the purpose of life? They should not tell you, you just get married and do the job and this and that. Basically, they are telling you, we are animals and why are you becoming human being? It's a stark reality. Many of the brahmacharis, they just leave temple thinking, oh, I have to listen to my parents. Yes, you should listen to your parent, but the real parent is Bhagavad Gita and Ved. So, what did you understand regarding the qualification of Bhagavad Gita? Sorry, qualification of student of Bhagavad Gita? He should be eager to know. He should ask questions. Why I am suffering? What is the destination of life? What is the goal of life? What is the purpose of life? Like this. Yeah. And genuinely asking, isn't it? Am I happy by doing sense gratification? All those things. Second, the sincere student should also have a firm respect for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Such a student was Arjuna. So Arjuna was perplexed. That is one thing. But he could have gone and asked to anybody else. But he says, no, apart from you, nobody can remove my doubt. That means one should have full faith and firm faith and Krishna as Supreme Personality of Godhead. That by whatever Krishna says is for my good and it is for my ultimate good. And if I follow it, I'll definitely be benefited. Does it make sense to you? Okay. Why does Lord appears? Or should we stop here or we can read a little bit more? Okay, little bit, we'll stop at the point where Prabhupada tells what are the 5 topics of Bhagavad Gita. We'll stop that point. Lord Krishna descends specifically to establish the real purpose of life when man forgets that purpose. That means Paradharma or Bhagavad Dharma. That means the duties which are to be done by a human being towards Lord Krishna. When people forget that, or can you switch it on? Oh, there's a problem. Switch it on and switch it off.